see what's out there, and Railblazer hold everything.
Yeah, buddy, what's going on, dude?
I got a little thrown off guard because of the
Stand by.
we're kind of all over the place setting up for this episode. So yeah, it's been it's been kind of nuts the past 10 minutes. So Freddie, what's going on, bud?
Well, just squirreling around here like a crazy man trying to get this thing ready.
Okay.
Holy cow, dude.
What's going on?
Nothing. We're good. I think everything is good.
We're good?
We're recording. Everybody's happy.
Okay.
Let's just start this over. Welcome to the...
So we're going to have an awesome episode.
Yeah, I hope so.
We actually have Senator Slade Blackwell calling in from Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
Is that awesome?
That's pretty cool, dude.
Is that cool or what? So, yeah, so I've been talking with Slade for a while now. EKFT, we might put on an event in Alabama. So I don't know what's going to happen, right off the bat, like right now, but we've been in talks for a little while. And Slade contacted me, and yeah, we've been having some great discussions, and hopefully we can bring that experience to that area. So it'd be another great destination event.
Are we talking like Mobile, like an offshore thing, or like a
offshore?
Okay. So
yeah,
not like
in the
inland.
Gulf.
Okay, not like Lake Gunnersville.
No. So we're talking like kingfish. I really don't know many of the fish. I think they got cobia too.
Some kid caught a 50-pound king off of the pier in Lake Pensacola.
Really?
Which is basically down the street from Mobile.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Pounder off the pier.
That's pretty neat.
Freaking slob. Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to call in, and we're also going to talk to his son. And what's really cool is they went out fishing on a tandem kayak. And you all right? Is everything okay? You hear me? You got me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just talking to the front of it.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So, yeah, so they're fishing on the tandem kayak, and they went out and caught monster yellowfin tuna. Monster.
Now, when you say monster,
well, we're gonna find out how big they were, but I'll tell you what, man, it was
like as big as the guys in Hawaii are catching, or
yes,
bigger? Okay, really?
Yes,
That's
I'm
really
talking cool. Like I think one of them was almost 100 pounds.
Whoa. And
they're on a tandem, and they run an Instagram. I believe it's tandem kayak fishing with like an underscore or something like that. We'll get it from him, but yeah, I mean this is pretty awesome, man.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean it's. I think we talked about it with Sarah Salt. Like there's another level of challenge, I think, in being on a tandem. Like it's more difficult, I think.
Well, yeah, I think we covered this before, but what's cool about being on a tandem? Well, the good things are, you got two people. So when you're both fighting like a monster fish, you have 4 sets of arms that can help out.
You have 2 sets of arms. It's 4 arms.
Oh yeah, 2 sets
total.
Yeah,
total of 2 sets. Total
right.
of 4 arms.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm confused. What were we talking about? Oh, so set of arms. And but the bad thing to me about being on a tandem is you have 2 brains, and if you got 2 brains on one body, I feel like things can get messed up.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out, and like you don't know what that guy's thinking. He doesn't know what you're thinking. You might do something that needs to be left, and he does it right, and then you twist it up. And
exactly.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine you and me on a tandem kayak trying to catch fish.
We would probably kill each other.
You'd be like, Freddie, can you pick up the gog and hook him because I don't want to get poked.
All right, well, we got Governor Blackwell calling in right now. Slade, what's going on, man?
Oh, pretty good. I think we got Kobe on the phone, too. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
We got the whole fam.
Doing good.
Can you guys hear my dog barking right now? He literally never, ever, ever barks, and he's barking right now.
So, guys, I really appreciate you calling in. And, Slade, we've been talking for a little while now. We might bring EKFT to Alabama. So we'll see what happens there. But that sounds super exciting. And you guys had an exciting trip. You guys caught some monster yellowfin tuna. So tell me about it. What happened?
I was kind of starting to Kobe chime in. Basically, we've been kayak fishing for about 4 or 5 years now, and we went down to Venice, which is, as you guys know, an hour and a half south of New Orleans, and took a mothership and went out 40 miles in the ocean and tuna fished on the hump out there, or the lump, whatever you want to call it.
That's a long place. I was actually born in Louisiana and then raised in Birmingham, so I know Venice well, and I know Alabama well. Could you explain to the listener, because Joe has called you governor, senator, congressman,
senator, yeah,
and
sorry.
like the Commonwealth leader of the local chamber of commerce. Like he's the same. He's told everything. So just kind of explain your actual title, because Joe keeps jamming it up.
Yeah. My current title is state senator, and for Alabama, and I represent a big district in the Birmingham area. And the reason he might be saying governor is I did jump into the governor's race, but I jumped out real quickly about 3 days later. So at this point, I'm just a lonely state senator.
Awesome, man.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I went to Shades Valley, and then I went over to a little further east to Calhoun County, and finished up at Weaver High School, and then it ended up I had a house in Trussville. So
that's
cool,
in my district.
You would have been my guy.
Yeah, so all right, so you guys are out there, you're on a tandem kayak, and this is something that I've personally never seen before. I've seen some guys in Hawaii that catch like these monster tuna, but you guys were on this tandem. What was it like in the beginning? How did that first hookup happen? Like, just what did it feel like?
When we brought the kayak onto the boat ramp or launch, every single captain was laughing at us. They told us we couldn't do it. It was they all thought we were going to flip over, and they told us it wasn't going to happen. And the first day, they actually wouldn't let us bring the kayak out in the water. Say, like, you can't do it. There's no way. And so they made us go out there and see what we were doing the first day. We knew we could do it, but
so was it specifically like a mothership trip for kayaks, or you went out there on a mothership like just a tuna boat, and they just let you take your kayak?
No, we called Super Strike, and they have about 5 boats there, and they were very nervous about us bringing our kayak, and so we took it and we put our kayak in the boat itself.
Sure.
Put some little floaties underneath the kayak so it wouldn't bang around in the boat. They've got 34, 36, 40 foot long Freemans and huge boats, so our kayak fit perfectly, and we'd go about an hour and a half, through the marsh out into the ocean. Out there, and then once we got there, we would take about 3 of us to pick the kayak up and then put it over the side of the boat and sit it there.
That's really crazy.
That's pretty cool.
So you guys talked them into letting you take a kayak on a regular old charter boat. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Now, have they ever heard of this before, or seen offshore kayak fishing at all, or were they just, when you told them that you wanted to do this, were they just looking at you like you were nuts?
Colby?
They thought we were crazy.
Yeah, I figured.
I can imagine.
It was basically like this. They basically said, look, we'll try it. But the first day, they didn't trust us at all. They didn't think we knew what we were doing. They didn't think we knew how to handle the kayak or, hook into a fish. They didn't understand we've been doing this for a number of years. And actually, after, they told us on the way down, they said, we're not going to let you use our equipment. You can't use our rods. You can't use our reels. You got to spool up and bring all your line and bring all your jigs, because we're just not sure about this. And after the second day, they let us use all their equipment.
Yeah, they didn't want you dumping all their stuff into the ocean, is what it was. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense the first time. They just didn't want you losing all their gear.
I mean, speaking of equipment, so what were you guys using?
Colby?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. We used a 25 Calico 2-speed, and then we had a 10,000 Stella.
Nice.
We used to use that one for jigging. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. And then
one of the captains.
Go on.
One of the captains basically said, you use those pea shooters, and he gave us his 50 wide.
Oh yeah, I want those fish.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, from the size of the tuna that I saw, I mean, man. So the first hookup you guys had. I mean, how big was that fish? The first tuna?
162.8 pounds.
Holy cow!
Is that amazing?
Well, actually, Kobe, that was probably the third fish. I think the first one was 125.
That was the fifth.
125, 162. Then yeah.
Dude, we got to go do that.
Oh my God, we got to go. Can we go with you
that.
guys next time you guys head out there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is just amazing.
And then,
what was the biggest fish you guys got altogether?
It was a lot. How much do you think it was, Dad?
The biggest fish?
No,
Yeah, what was the
all
biggest?
together, like weight. Oh, biggest? It was 185 or 180.
No,
what was it? 182.
182.5 was the biggest. A 165, a 125, and a 115.
Yep,
Oh
that's
my
right.
God. So, like, are you going to be, like, shipping us up some tuna or what? Oh, my
We have
God.
some freezer.
Oh, my God.
Is that all year round there? Can they get those all year round or no?
Well, two things. We got extremely lucky because this was actually the first weekend that it's cyclical, and it basically the tuna come in about 6 months out of the year, and this was the first week they came in, and so we hit it literally perfect at the beginning of the season. And then secondly, I've lost my train of thought.
How flat the water was.
Oh, and how flat the water was. It was literally like a lake out there. I mean, it was like a bathtub. And so we got real lucky being able to put the kayak in the water and fishing out there. I mean, Joe, it wasn't anything remotely like y'all's tournament last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was insane. That was probably our most rough tournament in 7 years. It was unbelievable. I can't believe these guys even made it out. It was nuts. But, yeah, I mean, you guys got really lucky. I mean, you had great weather. I guess these tuna were running at the perfect time. Now, you guys also got like kingfish and other stuff too, right?
Yeah.
And how big were the kings?
The king, how big do you think it was, Dad?
Well, we didn't measure it, but it was about 5 feet, 5.5 feet long.
Jeez.
That's the one. That was the one that got eaten by the hammerhead coming back to the boat.
So, but none of your tunas got sharked?
Mm-mm.
Wow, that's impressive.
So this
But
place
that
is
is
literally
actually a great
Jurassic
point.
Park. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to catch, and actually a great point is that the captains were very nervous about obviously us being a kayak first of all, but having the fish in the water after you gaff it or getting it in the boat. They were very stickler on get it in the boat quick. We're not going to take pictures. We're going to get it in the boat.
100%.
And we had our other son flying the drone around us as we were catching the fish.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Because
those
of all
sharks,
the sharks.
they will eat everything in their way if they're trying to eat a big tuna.
So when you guys were out there, I mean, when you were fighting these tuna, you know, that boat's, I guess, circling you around. Was he literally like, listen, you guys got to get this fish up fast because, you know, those sharks will come and grab it? Like, were you nervous that was going to happen?
I didn't think about that when we were fighting it. That didn't come to thought. But the boat would follow us about 20 yards away. And he's like, get it up fast as you can, obviously. But it took us an hour and 30 minutes to get up both of the big tunas we caught.
Wow.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Now, what's really cool about it is where we went, the place that they call the hump or the lump. Now, you have to imagine this. There's probably about 50 to
boats.
60 boats out there, and they're all within about 50 yards of each other fishing. But he wouldn't take us to where the ledge, because there's a ledge that drops off. He took us kind of off to the side because the captains were real nervous that once we hooked up,
We'd get right through them.
yeah, they would just drag our ass all through the boats and everybody get mad at us.
Yeah,
you're right.
That happens to us here. Yeah, we have dive boats that we have to like avoid. We're hooked up on fish, and we'll run through like, you know, a big giant dive boat where there's 30 people down below, and we have to make a decision whether we want to cut them off or like get rocks thrown at us.
Well, you know what's funny, guys, is I used to, back in the day, I used to fish in New Jersey, and we used to go to the canyons and catch bluefin tuna. And we would go to the edge of the canyon, and you would literally wait for the schools of tuna to come through. And while you're waiting, you would look far off, and, you know, this would be at night, obviously, and you would see the lights of all the boats literally on the canyon. And then way far back, you would hear screaming. And then my dad would look at me and say, they're coming. Then you hear the next boat screaming, then the next boat, and then they'd hit, and, you know, you'd have 4 rods just go off. And it was unbelievable. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm picturing there. Like, you guys were basically on sort of like a canyon, and then these schools would just run through, right?
That's real close. Kobe, tell them about people talking on the radio, the captains.
Oh, yeah. So the first day, we didn't go out kayak fishing, so they didn't say anything. And sorry, my bad. Second day we came back, and we came up with the biggest tuna on the whole entire launch, and everybody was talking about it. And the third morning we came out, every single captain was rating into our captain to see if we hooked up or caught anything the whole entire day. Every single person was talking about it.
That's great.
That's pretty sweet, man.
See, that's what's great for offshore kayak fishing. I mean,
Yeah.
we all just kill it.
Everybody but me. That's
Everyone but Freddie
course.
catches fish. It's awesome. That's great. So, like, what?
Hey,
What?
Joe, ask Cope. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was going to say, Joe, ask Kobe what he did with a black magic marker in the bathroom there at the Venice Marina.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do, Kobe?
So at the marina, everybody writes on what tuna they caught and what poundage they did. And I wrote 162 and 185 pound tuna, and then I did my Instagram, and then I did like at Tandem Kayak Fishing, and then the next day we got like 50 followers from that thing.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
At the bathroom.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
crazy.
what you guys have done, I think maybe has blown up, a new avenue of offshore kayak fishing, and that's tandem kayak fishing. I mean, what you guys have done. I mean, I've had already multiple people that have asked me, "Hey, like, is that easy to do? Can I get out there and do that thing? Is there charters out there with these tandems? What's the deal with that?" So, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you guys, you're catching tuna that's over 100 pounds. Father and son tandem. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And we've had a couple people in the tournament enter tandem. but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not very many.
Yeah, not many, but it's. Hey, I mean, like I said, what you guys have done. I mean, that's I've seen it blasted, pretty much everywhere in social media. So, hey, man, our hats off to you guys. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. Actually, neither one of us have ever fished on just a single kayak. We've always been on the tandem, and we think it's easier because the person in the back, which is always me, I'm always steering, and Colby's always catching the fish, but he always turns around and bitches at me that I'm going the wrong way or I need to turn this way.
Well, it's funny because Freddie and I were just talking before you guys came on, and I said, maybe one of the challenging things on being on a tandem is, think of like two brains in one body. So like you're both thinking, maybe totally different things, and you guys are fighting each other on it, without even knowing it. So I mean, do you deal with that a lot, like, or is it just always teamwork, gung ho, we're killing it?
It's gotten way better the more we fish. Like the first couple of times it's super frustrating, but now we're doing it. We're all pretty much think the same thing now. Like it's gotten way better.
Right.
I mean, like when we're catching the big tunas, the main thing I was doing in the back, I was just making sure that the rod tip was pointing towards the front of the boat, either 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock, because you get it off to the side and you flip over because your balance on a tandem is tremendously harder, because if he leans one way, I got to counterbalance the other way, and so that's always a constant. And my job was just to keep the rod in the front of the boat and steer that way, and he would always yell at me.
Now, it's a tandem Hobie Island, or which one is it, Outfitter or the Island?
Oasis.
Oasis.
Oasis,
that's right.
Oasis is the new one. Okay.
Okay. And now, is that the 2018 with reverse?
Correct.
Okay, so it
And
makes it
they've
easier
actually
for you when you're
modified
fighting
it
those big fish.
dramatically.
That's a big help, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
That's crazy, man. 180 pounds.
Hey, Kobe, tell me about all the stuff you've added to your kayak.
Oh yeah, we put in the live well. We added the wrap to it. We did that ourselves too. We added LED. Yeah, we added LED lights on it, and then the best feature we've added is we installed a sonar, and it
Nice.
goes right behind my dad's seat, and we can see everything on there.
That's pretty
Man,
sweet.
you guys are ready to
Really
rock.
good.
need to get a mini fridge on there, dude.
I know,
Yeah.
right? A little fridge on there, some
Yeah.
outriggers.
Yeah, like a little mini bar.
I know, right? Little stereo.
Oh, yeah.
Be great. It's
That's
awesome.
We have that too.
There you go.
I'm sure.
You got to have
That's
that.
great. So, I mean, when you guys, so I got to ask, like, you're fighting a tuna that's over 100 pounds, and it just keeps like, my brain just still isn't really computing. So, like, this fish is doing deep dives, right? And you're And Cody,
Yeah.
you're fighting this fish in the front. Dad's in the back. He's steering. I mean, was it just straight down, or was it making runs, far away?
So it's different from a boat. From a boat, you're sitting there and it'll pull drag. And what we did is we tightened drag a little bit more, and it would just pull us. And the captain got beside us at one point, and it was pulling us at was it 2.6 knots, said, or 3.6?
No, it was actually
4?
4. Yeah,
It was
4 knots.
4.6 knots, just straight across the water.
Jeez, that's insane.
And
That's
then,
the way to do it, though, man. Because when you let him pull drag, he's just not getting as tired.
Yeah,
as
you
if
got to
he
suffocate
as
him.
if he pulls you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually think it's easier on, because I talked to a bunch of buddies that have caught big tunas on the boat, but on this kayak, in our tandem, it's literally pulling us an hour and a half. It probably took we have it on sonar. It probably drug us about 3 miles on our map. But I think it's easier because when it takes off and runs, it's just pulling the boat with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I say that every time
you're not standing there.
Yeah, I think everything's easier off a kayak.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, fighting a fish is easier. Jigging is 1,000% easier from a kayak.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's easier, man.
Well, think of it like this. When guys go offshore here and they're going for swordfish, they're using buoy gear. And when that swordfish eats, the bait from the buoy gear, he's towing that gear for hours. Yeah. And he's so exhausted that when those guys come up to pull him up, he's half dead. So just like with any pelagic, they're slowly suffocating. So I agree with you. I think, catching these monster tuna on a kayak, I mean, aside from the sharks and stuff that can come up, but yeah, I would think it could be easier, definitely. And, let me ask you this. When he came pretty close to the boat, like I know the blackfins here, the big jumbos, they'll, once you get them almost to the boat and they're tired, they'll start doing those circular dives.
Yeah.
And then it gets like forever. It's like another 30 minutes where they're just circling and they're barely out of reach. Were these tuna doing the same thing?
So when we got close, our kayak, it would go, we have it on tape, it would go in giant 10-yard circles. The kayak would go in circles following the tuna.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, they were suffocating. They were tiring out, and then they just get on their side, and it's just like dead weight. Yep. And then it's just a battle now between, they're probably 10 feet deep in the water, so they're right out of reach, and you're just pulling on against each other. So, I mean, that is just epic, guys.
I want to go.
On our 165 tuna that we were hooked up on for about 45 minutes, it came up real quick, and it came up literally right beside us. And Colby, you want to tell them what happened when it was tail wrapped?
You can do it. You can explain it.
Okay, great. Because he wants y'all to know how bad I was. So that tuna came up, and we were gaffing it, and I gaffed it, and it popped off its back, and I gaffed it again, and I couldn't. So I gaffed it 5 times.
You didn't think it though.
What are you whacking her with a bat or what?
No, he was doing the Joe Hector gaff.
I know, right?
He's doing the Joe Hector maneuver of gaff, the technique of Joe Hector gaff.
Oh my God, that's great. So you stuck this thing 5 times.
That's great.
Was there blood everywhere?
Finally,
was it nuts?
Finally, the captain started yelling at me quit doing it. You gotta reach out and pull back. You gotta quit slapping at it. Yeah. And it came on tail wrapped and dove.
Another 45 minutes.
Oh boy. So after you poked at him, when you just smacked him
now
on the head
the sharks are coming.
Yeah, yeah. And he looked like, when you pulled him up, he looked like you hit him with a buckshot. You shot him 6 times.
I'm just picturing you guys just circling in red, and then 10 black sharks just heading at you. Oh my God,
that's awesome.
And you fought him for another 40 minutes after you whacked him 10 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
I just wanted to make sure.
And then Colby was just looking back at me going, "Great, Dad, you don't know how to gaff. I mean, come on."
Awesome. Guggen.
Yeah.
Rookie.
I will say I suck at gaffing.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what there's a finesse to it. It's kind of it's more like a scoop.
It's
right?
not. It's more like a pull. It's more like a pull than a swing.
Well, it's a scoop.
Now you put the hook beyond it, and then you pull it straight backwards.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a scoop. That's a pull.
Slade, how did you do it? Was it just a whack?
It was like a switch. He was beating it like a switch.
I scooped, the first couple of times, and then I just started whacking it like a bat, and that just didn't really work.
just like Joe does.
They should have given you a spear, man. Just to spear the thing. You know, that's what they do in Hawaii.
Yeah,
they have the serrated spear, right?
They use a keiki gaff. It's called a keiki gaff. Yeah.
Right, and they just stick it.
It's just a straight. That's better.
And actually, Eric Hamilton out of Deep Blue Kayak actually sent us a gaff to use, the Hawaiian gaff to use, and we used it on about 3 other blackfin tunas, but not on that one.
That's the way to go, because you can get that headshot and kill it right away.
Yeah, just kill that thing right
That's right.
away.
That's right.
Yeah, it's easier to aim that.
And then, so you fought that thing for another 40 minutes, and then, so what did the boat do? So, like, when he was, like, done, that tuna, the boat would come close to you and just get it up in there, or how did that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can explain it, Dad.
So basically, the boat would stay about 50 yards behind us and just following us, and then we got it real close. You know, he would move over and gap it and pulled it up on the boat. Him and my other son.
That's crazy. Now, were there other people on that boat fishing, or they were just there for you guys?
Just there for us.
Private charter. That's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. Good move.
And if you guys don't mind me asking, like, if you wanted, if one was listening to this podcast and wanted to do this type of trip, how much ballpark would it cost somebody?
Yep. So for a full day, you basically start at 6 o'clock in the morning. You go all day. You bring your own lunch. You fish literally to about 5:30 that evening. You pull back into the marina, and it's about $1,700 plus gas. And so it's a full day. And you know, you're on a 34, 36-foot Freeman with 300 Yamahas, and so you'll spend $300 to $400 in gas, but
sure.
that's probably the total cost.
So you're looking around $2,500. That's for the boat for the day, no matter how many people they take, or what?
Yes.
I think that's correct.
So if you take three dudes with 3
it's like a max
kayaks.
of like 6 people.
Right. Yeah. So if you bring,
you could easily get 3 kayaks on there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the more people you bring, the cheaper it would be for an individual.
This guy's about to get busy.
Yeah, this guy's
about to get busy.
And
for sure.
Now, what I would also suggest is make sure you take some of those noodles that you float in the water with in the swimming pool. Those long little noodles.
Sure.
It's $2 noodles.
Yep. Y'all know what we're talking about?
Yeah. Pool noodle. Yep.
Am I out of the loop here?
No, pool noodle. You know a pool noodle, that the long, like, it's like a big.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
You float it. It's a floaty noodle.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what you call them.
Exactly.
In
Take
Jersey.
a couple of those, because you put those on the bottom of the boat, and then you put your kayak on that, and then that way it doesn't bounce around and knock around the boat.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
We call them pollywogs
So.
in New Jersey. It's a pollywog.
Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, you go out there, you catch these monster fish. How long is it that you're out there, number one? And number two, how long does it take to get out there?
It's a 40-mile drive, so you're talking. You said trip 350s.
Yep, 350s. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get out of the bayou.
Okay.
Because you're going down canals, and there's a lot of fog, and you're probably only going, 15 to 20 miles an hour, because you literally cannot see more than 50 yards in front of you.
It's like the Everglades.
And then once you get out in the ocean, it's a hard hour out to where you're going, and then there's probably about 15 oil rigs that you pass going out there.
And how long do you guys get to fish for?
The whole time. It takes about an hour and
I
a
mean,
half to get out.
like, do they have a set time?
It's a 6 a.m. lunch, and then they're out there in less than 2 hours, so they'll start fishing at around 8, I would guess, right? Once you get the kayak in the water.
That's right.
Yep, and then they have to head back 2 hours. They got to be back at 5.
Okay.
So you get back in about 5:30, so you leave about 4.
Yeah,
okay,
pretty
great.
much all day.
And you guys did it 2 days, or was it 1 day?
2.
We actually kayak fished 2 days. They wouldn't let us fish the third day.
No, first day.
Or the first day, right.
Okay. That's so cool, man.
I want to go.
This is almost like, I don't know if you guys know this, but you almost in a way kind of like opened up a whole new avenue for offshore guys to get out and maybe do something a little different. Like someone like me, for instance, that's semi-retired from kayak fishing. This is something that I personally would love to go do. Just meet a captain, head out there, what was it, 40 minutes, catch a couple monster tuna over 100 pounds, eat some lunch, lift some weights, call it a day. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, you can't do better than that. I mean, it's great. I mean, you got these captains there. They're everyone's there.
They're also impressed that you're doing. That's what's the best part is how Kobe's like talking smack at the dock. He's like, yeah, bro, what'd you guys catch? Oh, we caught a couple footballs. All right, well, how about $1.80 on a kayak there, son?
Let me get my permanent marker out.
Yeah, let me bust out this Sharpie and put myself on the wall of fame.
That's great.
It's pretty dope.
Well, I will tell you this, and Kobe mentioned at the beginning, when Kobe's the fisherman, my other boy is the Eagle Scout, and he handles all our electronics, our GoPro and our drone. We got there in the morning. You got to picture this. There's probably 100 people there on the dock. All the boats are lined up, so all the captains are looking for their people their clients that they're going to take out that day.
Right.
And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's slightly hazy. It's just gorgeous. My boys didn't want to take the kayak because they were embarrassed. So I said, give me the kayak. So, I have the Hobie wheels on it. So we're pulling the tandem, and they're about 15 feet or yards behind me pulling the kayak right through the crowd. And they were hearing everybody laugh at us and say,
everybody was laughing. Every single person was laughing.
These are people who don't have the internet.
And so
I'm convinced.
I know,
these
right?
People, have these
they're
people
living in a bubble or something.
Yeah, like, what are
nuts.
they talking about?
It's awesome. I mean, you guys went out there and then killed it.
And we got guys catching 100-pound wahoo on kayaks here. It's crazy. 190.
And the funny thing was, we caught the 165 was the largest fish in the entire fleet that day. And then the next day, when we caught the 182.5, it was the largest fish caught, except for swordfish, that day out of the whole entire fleet of a tuna.
That's a 200-pound fish. So because is that the one you whacked like 50 times where he lost all that blood?
No, the $160.
Oh, that was the 160?
That was the 165.
So he probably lost quite a few pounds of blood. So I mean, these fish were like 200 pounds.
Did you guys catch them? Did you guys catch them both jigging, or was it live bait, or what were you guys using?
Chumming.
Chunk.
Oh,
Chunky.
Just like what we did in the canyons. We would use we would chunk butterfish, and what we would do is we just slowly let the line out, like slowly keep letting it out,
That's
and it would go into the current. And then they would whack it. Is that what you guys are doing? We're just slowly letting it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And if you couldn't let it out too fast because it'd pile up on the water and it wouldn't. The whole goal was to try to make that chunk where
sink.
Your hook was hidden inside of it, float like some of the other bait you threw in there. So it looked natural. So you couldn't go too fast or too slow, but you're exactly right. Just kind of pull out your conventional reel and let it go.
You ever try that, Fred?
Chunk? You mean chunking?
Yeah,
you
slowly,
do that for snappers. Every single fish that you use dead bait with, you do that.
Not snapper, man. I'm talking about fish, real fish,
no,
manly
every fish,
tuna fish.
Every fish that you fish for with dead bait, you do that method.
Freddie. Oh my God!
Have you ever chummed at all? Of course, I've done that.
Well, guys, so I mean, let me tell you something. What you guys have done is awesome, and I know social media is blowing up about it. And Cody, Slade, I really hope I see you guys.
His name's still Colby.
This summer at the SummerSlam series. So it's going to be awesome, and I really want to see you guys compete. It would be awesome on that tandem kayak.
Oh man, you guys got to come.
Well, we look forward to it, and thank y'all for having us on. It's been a blast, and I tell you what, your events are unbelievable, and that's why we want to get them to the state of Alabama, and hopefully that can work out. I think that's great for not only the industry, but also for our Gulf Coast and the state of Alabama. So keep doing what y'all are doing.
Thank you very much, Slade, man. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate having you guys on and getting in touch with you. I also want to do a shout out to Deep Blue Kayak Fishing because without them, I wouldn't have met you. So big shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
So and they took you out on a charter, right?
Yeah, we did. That was Eric is one of the best pros I've been around in a long time, and we went out there and fished with him for about 4 days and went inshore, offshore, freshwater. We did it all with him and caught a ton of fish.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, they're really good guys. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll see you guys soon, and I hope we'll put something together in Alabama. I think it'd be great, and I think it'd be a great fit. And I hear the offshore fishing there's awesome. So we're really excited about it.
Roll Tide.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll
All right,
talk
guys.
to you soon.
Have a good one.
Bye.
180.
180.
180.
Gaffer 10 times.
80. Got that Joe Hector technique on
Blood,
the
like I'm just picturing him like blood all over the place and just
bloodbath.
massacre, like
Sharks
killing this
circling.
sharks jumping out of the water, and then like you have
Sharknado.
that song in the background. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na,
I was thinking more like
da-na-na.
dum
No, it's Jurassic Park, dude. Remember?
I think you did it
Welcome
wrong.
to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I think you
Remember?
did it wrong. I think you did it wrong.
Freddie, that's the song.
But it's not Jurassic Park. It's
It's-
Sharknado.
Huh?
It's Jurassic Park was an island where dinosaurs lived.
Well, this is a area where dinosaurs live. Correct?
Pterodactyl?
We had a podcast on pterodactyl lakes, sir.
Was it
That was before your time. They do exist.
Pterodactyl Lakes?
Well, they. Okay, have you seen Game of Thrones? So
Are we gonna
picture the pterodactyl eggs like this.
Okay.
There is real pterodactyl eggs.
Mhm.
Okay, but they need to be heated to a certain extent to where they would hatch.
So you have
So
to
they're
have
fossilized at the moment, but they will
Oh.
eventually hatch.
right, but don't you have to have like Vulcan glass, black glass to heat them up or something like that? And then like there has to be like a princess who was born of the fire of the dragon. No? That's not how you hatch them? I think you saw this on a show.
No, it's semi Game of Thrones,
And
but
by
semi real.
Oh, okay.
There is real pterodactyl
Where
eggs.
are they?
Jay and I discussed this.
Where are they though?
There was a guy that we had on the show. I'll get his number back on, and we'll have him on again,
Okay.
so he can talk to you about how they exist. How did we get to this?
Pterodactyl land. You wanted to play the Jurassic Park
Oh, Jurassic
music.
Park, yes.
When I feel like Jaws,
180-pound tuna. Yes.
I feel like Jaws music would have been more appropriate.
Yeah. Did I really call Slade a governor and a senator? Did
Yeah, I
mess
think you
that up?
called him a chancellor and a
Chance-
councilman.
Chancellor Slade.
Pardon me, Chancellor Slade.
What is it, Star Wars?
Pardon me.
Oh my god.
I think you called him every single form of government official you can be before you called him a senator.
I am all over the place today.
Jeez,
I'm
man.
like semi like out of it. I don't know. And I called his son.
Cody and Kobe. You called him every block of cheese except for Colby.
All right, guys, I'm done today
Cody.
because I
I
can't.
kept calling him Cody.
Was I calling him Cody?
Yeah. Yeah, kept calling him Cody. That's not your fault. I mean,
It sounded like Cody. Was it Kobe?
Colby.
It was like Kobe Bryant.
Colby. Kobe is like beef. Colby is like cheese. Colby
All right.
Jack with an OLBY.
Sorry, Kobe.
I think
I didn't mean that.
I think it was Colby. You just said Kobe.
Oh, you just said it's Kobe.
Colby. For love of Christ, people. Am I
I'm
speaking
done today.
Chinese?
This is it.
Am
We're
I
ending the
speaking
podcast
Chinese?
right now.
Okay.
All right, we love you guys. Also, before we go,
Okay, no, we're not ending it.
we're not
We're not ending it at all. We're doing the thing where we're just going to end it, but not.
Do you want to do this? Do
This
it.
is it.
I
All right.
can't talk. I'm done.
So on the next
Cut.
podcast, I believe the next one of the coming up ones, we have to post the rules so that you guys,
Yeah.
you got the rules and the stuff.
we're going to be doing a Garmin giveaway.
We're gonna give away a Garmin Striker
Yep.
for. I think it's a Garmin Striker. This one's mine. I don't know if the
yeah, we're
ones you
going to
guys
make
have.
sure
I'm
100%.
pretty sure it's a Garmin Striker for that we have for
Right.
for the giveaway.
Right.
Yeah, and so we're gonna be giving that away, and I think it'll be
In
something
the
like
following podcast.
Yeah. You'll just have to
go
share
over
it.
what we're going
or-
to do. We're going to share, follow,
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, one of you guys will have a chance to win an awesome striker sponsored by Garmin. We really appreciate you, Garmin. And yeah, man.
So then, until next time,
Until next time. So find Pedal Pirate at Pedal Pirate.
at Pedal Pirate
All
or
right.
Pedal Pirate
At
TV
Extreme
on
Kayak
YouTube.
Fishing. Or you can go to extremekayakfishing.com. Find out all the tournament information.
Nanu.
Freddie York, I could not speak today.
No,
It's just one of those
it was a bad
days.
day.
It's just one of those days, guys. Did you ever have one of those days?
Sometimes
We'll talk about it.
All the blood goes to your muscles.
Contact me.